Welcome back to the Tattered Mentor, guys. Today I've got somebody very special. I was really excited when I reached out to him and he accepted my invitation to be interviewed. Themba Nkuna from InsydOUT. Welcome to the Tattered Mentor podcast.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Big pleasure.
Greetings to your guests, wherever they are, all over the world.
Wherever they are.
Yeah,
exactly,
from Cape Town to Cairo to Timbuktu, right?
Exactly, all over. Yeah, that's the social media world. Thanks so much for joining me, Themba. I definitely want to get to the crux of obviously, what you do in terms of the data analytics and all that kind of stuff that you focus on. But first, before we get there, I want to know about Themba Junior, small Themba, when you started off.
Yeah.
In school, where you grew up. Just give us your story.
I was always a naughty boy growing up. Got myself into so much trouble with my parents.
You look naughty.
Got a couple of hidings in the process, which was cool. Yeah, but anyway, look, I was born in Phalaborwa, very small mining town. Mm-hmm. That's when I've actually started my primary, my high school, raised by both parents who are still alive and still together even today. I grew up in a very warm, environment where I've experienced love. I have an older sister who's married, also with two kids, like I have two kids today. I think I only came to Gauteng for university, where I saw myself really defying the odds, and challenging the status quo. So I grew up in a village, if I can maybe be more specific and stuff. And I mean, there isn't really so much, I don't want to call it, I don't want to use the word hope, but it's really difficult to see beyond the four corners of a village,
yes.
And I think the opportunity that I had was when my sister was at university. She actually invited me and my cousin to come over and visit her. And this is when I was like maybe 13, 14. And for the first time, I've seen the city life, and I've seen a place which never sleeps, where at whatever time there's just people on the streets and stuff. And that was Pretoria, Sunnyside at the time, because that's where she used to stay and stuff. But I remember going back home, with that kind of picture stuck in my mind to say, I want that life, I want that life. And my sister would always say, if you want to come back here, just make sure you study, you pass your matric, and you can also come to university and stuff. So I think that's actually what inspired me. As I was studying, I had that picture of Pretoria in my mind. I want to go back to that place, all the type of things. So yeah, that kind of inspired me to push harder. So I was at UP, studied information science, majoring in data management, which was really, really cool. Back in the days, there was still a big talk in terms of data will become the new oil and stuff, we kind of had that, but it wasn't really a reality at the time. I like how data is being valued today and treasured and stuff. So post-university, I worked for StatsSA. I was at StatsSA for 2 years. But because of my passion for entrepreneurship, in fact, what I didn't tell you is that when I was 7, I started my first business, where I was selling icing, icing sugar, and it was starting to become more like an icing sugar operation, because I started recruiting other kids to say, you guys even come work for me. We can make money together, 20 cents, 50 cents. When at that time you went home with like 20 rands, it felt like so much money. But I think it was, for that age, and for the mere fact that you're making your own money. It's not money that was just sent over to you and stuff, or just given to you and stuff. It was like it gave a sense of accomplishment, if I can put it like that. So I'm very passionate about sales. So when I left SSA, I actually ventured into a business where we were selling detergents. You know, as my sister had a friend who had like this whole machine that could actually she could do this dishwasher, pine gel, multi-purpose, bleach, all those type of things. So she then became my supplier, and then I was supplying a couple of restaurants. You know, the pine gels and the other things which they obviously needed to clean their their stores and stuff. So because of my love for for selling and entrepreneurship, once again, I remember I was sitting with a friend and we were having a conversation, and this guy said, you know, there's this woman who runs a tombstone business. Yo, she makes so much money. You know, she makes really, really so much money. So the following day, I had a tombstone business, and we did very well with that business. Actually, we definitely did. It's just a matter of partnerships which didn't go well. But it was really a very good business. In fact, by the time our partnership didn't go so well, we're in the stage of getting IDC to fund us to actually build our tombstone factory.
Okay.
Which was going to be now taking that business to the next level and stuff. So it was quite disappointing when that happened and stuff. But yeah, look, I'm passionate about so many things. I'm passionate about writing. I'm an author of about 4 books now. I write on personal mindset. I'm in personal development and mindset. I believe your mind is your power. I believe your world, starts and ends in your mind. You know, what you become is because of what you think. All those type of things. So you see the world through the lens of your, of the eyes actually are reflecting a reflection of what your mind, is about and stuff. So if you see the world as a beautiful place, it's because maybe you are thinking about it like that. But if you also think it's a terrible place and stuff, so I feel like that's where things start and end and stuff. I've also written a book on sales, where I've realized that a couple of entrepreneurs, people are struggling to sell. And when I say to sell, I'm talking about not selling a product or a solution primarily. I'm talking about selling yourself first, because we live in a world where it doesn't really matter, where you come from, what you know, all those type of things. It's about, can you sell yourself?
It's building your personal brand
100%.
as well. Yes.
Can you convince people? Can you persuade people? Can you inspire people to want to interact with you, to want to work with you, to want to be associated with you, all those type of things? Yeah, so maybe let me pause it here for now.
So you also obviously, speak at a lot of podcasts, and you have a lot of speaking events. So I understand. I also waffle a lot. I'm not saying you waffling, but I waffle as well. Just going back to that inspiration story that you're talking about with your sister. Which is obviously what we're trying to do: get inspirational stories from people like you, for the audience as well, so that they can see that there's also opportunity and possibilities. And I really want to also touch on this, your books as well, in terms of your writing the books, especially I want to call it manifestation. I know that because I'm a big kind of proponent of that. I believe in that. I don't believe I'd be where I am today if I didn't have that kind of a mindset. But it wasn't something that I always had. It was something that I obviously learned as I was going through my working career. I was really quite old when that happened. Can you maybe just kind of talk a bit more about your books, maybe, and also like kind of inspiration? Like that's a very important component for me. Seeing other people at a place where you feel you want to be. So maybe if you can give me some stories or some thoughts on those.
So look, I think for me the journey started when I was at university. I had a friend who introduced me to reading, and when I said read, I'm not talking necessarily academic vibes and stuff, but he came to me with a book by Dr. Robert, if I can still remember, titled Shift Happens.
I know that book. Yes.
You know it, right?
I've read that book.
Beautiful. That was a very beautiful book. My first ever book to really connect with and stuff. And I think since that day I didn't look back. I actually got into a culture of or a tradition of buying a book every month.
Sound like my wife. You got to get a book every month.
It was actually amazing. What was nice is that when I was at university in my second year, I was already a tutor, so I was earning some money, and so every month I would just like buy a book and stuff, and until I got my hands on the law of attraction. And I feel like that was a game changer. That was a very big game changer. I know people these days, they call that, new age teachings, which deviates people from God, and you can just believe in power of attracting things, all those type of things. That's a talk for another day. Right. So the law of attraction really changed my perspective completely. In terms of how you speak, the words that come out of your mouth, how you speak about yourself,
and how you speak things into existence,
and how you speak things into existence and stuff. Do you see what I mean? So that really, channeled me to want to then, create a reality for myself, a positive one for that matter, which helped me understand that I'm actually in control of my, mostly of my of how I react, in certain situations. I can actually shape my environment based on how I interpret things and stuff. The minute you take a moment and take a step back and just breathe a bit, just kind of think things through and stuff, you actually realize that the situation doesn't have control over you. You've got control over the situation and stuff, which is quite amazing and stuff. And this is also what inspired me to also want to write, this type of books. I remember my first book. I wrote my first book when I was 21. It's titled The Truth About You. Because that book, what I was wanting to achieve is to really help someone get looser, be more intimate about, their relationship with themselves. So asking yourself those self discovery, doing a bit of self introspection, starting with the basics such as, but who am I? Who am I? Like who's Themba? Who's really, do I know Themba? Do I understand Themba? All those type of things. So I think it definitely starts there, and then that's when it started for me. So I just wanted to share, as I was discovering myself, to invite others to possibly join me on the journey of, guys, let's know each other, let's know ourselves. So that's the first book that I've written. My second book, I've co-authored that with a friend from university. We titled that book "Step Out from Your Comfort Zone." There are so many topics, on that specific theme, but we also thought we believe that we also have a voice, that actually we've got ideas that can actually help someone out there. So that book was mainly about, understanding what your comfort zone is, what it looks like, all those type of things, and are you challenging yourself enough? Are you pushing yourself? Are you stretching yourself? Are you really, and I don't want to say maximizing on your potential, because I don't think you can ever do that as a person, because your potential will always evolve. You see what I mean?
And there's no ceiling.
And I mean there's no ceiling, and this is why people sometimes will tend to say, but doesn't that person just, are they not satisfied with what they have? And it's because once you achieve a certain level,
you just keep on.
Then you are inspired to want to achieve other things. There could be an element of greed, which is not what I'm focusing on right now. I'm focusing on people who are generally just stretching themselves, who realize I've got so much potential. If I've managed to achieve this, then I can actually, do more and stuff. Is that whole concept of the world is your oyster? So it's just up to you in terms of how far you want to stretch yourself and stuff. So I think that's what's inspired. What inspired, the books.
But also from an inspirational point, I think, just listening to what you're talking about, you obviously spoke about the law of attraction. And I also read a similar book that got me on my journey in 2010, I think it was, many years ago, which was called Mind Power by John Kehoe. It's more spiritually aligned, so it's not just those kind of stories. But it's exactly the same.
That was a very beautiful book. I know that he also coached Robin Banks. That Mind Power book was actually a very good one.
That was world changing for me completely. My whole kind of life changed from that point on, to be honest. But because it's spiritually aligned, I kind of aligned myself with it as well, so it was really great. But just talking about the second book you mentioned, which was, I can't remember the name.
Step Out from Your Comfort Zone.
Step Out from Your Comfort Zone. I'm a change manager. I know I chatted to you about this a little bit before. And I want to get into your actual kind of work, like in terms of the data stuff you do, but also the AI stuff that you do for companies. Where you go and do these master classes, etc. And obviously, from a change perspective, there's people go through denial, they go through depression, etc., until they get to adoption. And at the moment, I think a lot of people are still very scared. Can you give us some pointers on let's talk about AI first. Some pointers on what your beliefs are in terms of the AI space, what 100%. The opportunities are, and then what the risks are.
100%. So what has happened is that I actually forgot who I was. I lost myself in the process. So I'm a data guy.
Yes.
Right. I love data, and I remember even when we were at university, some of the things which we used to talk about, with my classmates and stuff, it was really powerful data concepts and stuff. To know how we can be using data to change the world and stuff. And I remember on our final year, we had a very interesting, project. And I remember Prof. Achidik, who said to us, guys, I've seen students walk out from this class with business ideas, solid business ideas, because of, some of these projects which we know you guys are involved in and stuff. So I think after university, after SSA, I kind of, wondered.
Yes.
I got myself involved in other projects and stuff until I went back to the drawing board and I really asked that question again, but who's Themba and stuff. And that's where I kind of rediscovered myself, and that's why I wanted to affiliate, once again with the data world, get my hands dirty in that space. So based on your question, my answer is simple. The possibilities are endless. The possibilities are endless. That's how I can put it and stuff. It's just a matter of understanding how to use data to get closer to the truth. Because we're wanting now to rely on facts, evidence, not just gut feel, assumptions, emotions, all those type of things. And I think that the whole concept of AI, yes, it has been there. I mean, when you trace back in terms of the AI evolution, there's talks in terms of how by the 60s already, there were AI models which were already in place and stuff. And I just feel like where we are right now is just booming.
Yes.
It's just kind of, the pace, it's just kind of moving at a very, very, very fast pace.
Yeah.
And I really believe that if we can start really embracing and appreciating it for what it is, and what it means to help us achieve and stuff, we can achieve so much in our organizations. We've talked about this, me and you, and I said, for me, it's quite also interesting that I feel like this whole AI era is also a reminder for us to be human again. Because
I really like
these technologies and stuff. They are meant to take away, the tasks which are kind of distracting us.
Yes.
They are meant to take away the distractions.
Exactly.
So that once again I can focus on what's really human and what I'm really passionate about and what I'm really good at and all those type of things. Instead of spending so much time going through things which are not necessarily meaningful and stuff. So that's why the code, let machines do machines work, and let people do human work and stuff.
That's it. Yeah. Like there was, and I hope I didn't say this on the podcast before, AD, you'll keep me honest here. But I've said, I really saw this quote and I really liked it. It kind of resonates with me. Let AI do my washing, not create music or an image or whatever. Let it do that. The stuff that I don't want to do, and then let me focus on this. I really have a strong opinion about AI kind of taking over creative work and stuff like that. I don't believe that that's what it should be used for. And obviously that's my personal opinion. But there's a place for it. There's a place for us and there's a place for AI, and we're at that junction now. So I completely resonate with what you're saying and agree with you.
No, 100%. With every, whether I want to call it a century or I want to call it a millennial, there will always be something changing. We've shifted from the industrial, I can't remember which one comes from between industrial and agricultural, but between the two and stuff, to the information age, to the knowledge, to the wisdom, to the technology, all those type of things. There will always be something changing. And I think the people, and maybe before I get to my second point, and someone said, with every change, comes opportunities, but every change will create winners and losers.
Yes.
Every moment of change will create winners and losers. There will be those who are so scared of change and they are so close-minded and all those type of things. They don't want to explore new things. They are so, once again, step out from a comfort zone. They are so used to doing things, in a specific order, specific way, traditional way, all those type of things. Anything that looks different, can be accepted.
Absolutely.
All those type of things. But there are those who, will always ask themselves, where's the opportunity in this? I mean, a typical example could be, look at how much Google is spending on R&D. These guys are burning billions on it. Every year, really exploring new concepts, getting their teams really thinking about the future, thinking about new ways of working and doing things and stuff. So it's not only Google who can afford to do that. I really believe that every organization should to start thinking about that. How do we make sure that we stay ahead of the curve?
Absolutely.
Because the world is moving forward. The world is changing. That's not...
Change is constant.
Change, that's not even something we need to be in denial of or we need to debate about. It is changing. Are you going to change with the times, or are you going to left behind? Going to be left behind and stuff. So I think that's what I'm thinking about this time that we're in. So with regards to what we're doing, we're just trying to support organizations in terms of AI adoption, but also helping them scale AI with confidence, so that it doesn't become a threat or an enemy, but something which they can definitely embrace in their businesses.
100%. That makes complete sense. I want to talk a little bit about failing forward. This is something that I'm very, as an entrepreneur, you're an entrepreneur, I'm an entrepreneur, so I think that we can talk about that.
I'm an entrepreneur.
I think you're an entrepreneur, absolutely. You spoke about your kind of the tombstone business that you went through. We didn't talk about this before, but it just kind of sparked an idea in my head now. A lot of times people feel like when you fail, you're useless. That's the end of the whole thing. Whereas if you were talking about Google as well, I'm going to kind of link that up as well, where they're burning billions on stuff. Virtual reality is not really a big thing yet. Neither is the metaverse and all that kind of stuff. And these guys have been doing it for ages ago already. They restarted. And obviously, it might not have failed completely, but it's not to the level where, for example, AI is now. It hasn't grasped or gripped the industry or the world, let's put it that way. So they even understand that we have to try even if we fail. And I think that's an important lesson for people that's going to be watching this podcast. People in the townships, the youth that are maybe in very difficult situations, to understand that you're going to go through a process of failing, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just, for me, it's a learning curve. What are your thoughts on that?
99.9% of everything that we do as people, we've never done before ourselves. It's the first time. It's the first time we're doing it.
Yeah.
So I think we need to be patient with ourselves. Right? We need to be patient with the process.
Yes.
We need to be open-minded enough to understand that the first idea which I have may not necessarily be, what. So maybe let me put it like this. What I start with may not be what I, what I end up with and stuff. So what I mean by that is even the way we use the word failure, maybe sometimes it's not even the right word to be using and stuff, because I personally believe that it's like it's a process which unfolds, and you get wiser, as you move forward. You get wiser to start understand what works, what doesn't work.
Yes.
Then you pivot.
That's it. Yeah.
You let go of the things which don't work, and you focus on the things which are working and stuff.
In fact, that's a very good point. When I started in consulting, and I'm old, so I'm not going to tell you how long ago that was. But when I started in consulting, we had these things called post-mortems from projects and stuff like that. So basically, it was things that didn't work well. How are we going to fix it going forward? That's got such a negative connotation. And now it's kind of swapped now over to lessons learned. It's not post-mortems anymore. Now it's lessons learned, which I like because it's a more positive thing. We learned the lesson, that didn't work. In the next project, we won't do that again, kind of thing,
Yeah.
So I like that concept.
Yeah, but let me ask you this question. I know this is your podcast. I'm supposed to be
maybe it's
the one answering questions and stuff. But how many things have you tried in your life and the first attempt didn't work out?
Hundreds. thousands.
Okay, but
probably
would you
not
call yourself a failure today?
even- No, absolutely not. Yeah.
Right?
But I probably would have if I didn't read that book, for example, the Mind Power thing. I probably would have felt like, you know what, I'm useless or a failure, whatever. So I also feel like that component comes in as well. But you're absolutely right. I don't feel like a failure.
Because you're not.
Yeah.
Because you're not. And for me, I really believe that the whole failure concept, I don't know, I'm still thinking of, a word which we can introduce in this conversation and stuff. But I personally believe that for as long as you don't stop, trying,
Yes.
you will always succeed. You will always, and when I say succeed, I'm talking in different areas, different ways, different forms, all those type of things. But a person, I mean, I've learned that a person who persists, I think it was Ogmandino who said something along those lines. I will persist until I succeed. It's just like the river that flows into the ocean, whatever the case may be and stuff. You have to chart into new paths, new territories and stuff. If you hit a wall,
Yes.
you have to take a left.
Pivot, exactly.
You have to do, 100%. So all I'm saying, is that what I've learned personally is that as long as you don't stop trying, you don't stop moving forward, forge forward, all this type of things. So this whole concept of fail forward is quite important. But let me also introduce another important, kind of idea in terms of how to approach this type of things. You have to be comfortable with taking breaks. Sometimes taking a break is necessary because you need to regroup. Gather your thoughts, gather your strength and stuff. Do you know that concept? Sleep over it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do. Yeah.
Why is that important? It's important because our minds, the mind is very powerful in a fashion that even when you're sleeping, your mind is looking for solutions. And this is why when you sleep over it,
Yes.
when you sleep over something, when you go to bed with no clear answer, when you wake up in the morning,
You've got a different view on it.
You've got a different view on it.
Yes.
You possibly have an answer to it. All this type of things. So I think that's also very, a very psychological exercise, which I find very powerful. But I think I'm deviating from your
it's exciting.
from what you asked.
Yeah. It's exciting conversation. So for me, it makes sense. I was even thinking about this. You were talking about me not feeling like a failure, or asking me if I feel like a failure. And last week we had Jody Basson on, who's the CEO of MasterStart.
Yeah.
And he was telling us about kind of his journey. MasterStart started off as a B2C company, so consumers would go directly, very much like a Get Smarter kind of idea. They in fact Get Smarter were their competitors.
Okay.
And they pushed, it wasn't working out, and they've now deviated to become a B2B business, exactly the same concepts as what they initially had, but just for businesses.
Yeah.
And they're hugely successful now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can't call him a failure either. He's just had to pivot, So, this, I don't want to say failing forward, because I know that the failing is a bad word, it is a negative connotation, but I do feel like that is, those deviations or pivots are just part of entrepreneurship. It's part of what you need to do if you're going to go into this kind of space. It's not just entrepreneurship, right? It's anything.
Yeah, no, 100%. So maybe I can add to that as well, as people who need to get comfortable with letting go of what doesn't work.
Yes. Yeah.
Because not everything's going to work, and letting go of what's not working is not failing.
Exactly.
It's being smart enough.
It's actually being smart
to actually realize that I'm wasting my time with this thing.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So I just thought I should add to that. But I mean, if you ask yourself a question of what is failure really, and good books have answered that question. It's just a state of mind.
Yes.
And this is why I said to you, your mind is so powerful, because everything starts and ends,
Yes.
in the mind and stuff.
Yes.
So failure, once again, is just a state of mind.
Yeah.
And I think if we can just see beyond, the moment, the situation, you realize actually, I'm not failing.
Yeah.
I'm actually solving problems,
yes.
hurdles, and still finding ways to move into the right direction.
Yeah,
if I can put it like that.
Well, Themba, those are the really interesting insights. I'm really excited to be, to read your books as well and understand that, what you've written and your mindset from that perspective as well. I think, what I really want to do now is maybe just ask you to speak to our audience and ask and give them maybe a tip or a couple of tips, or let's say one tip. People sitting in the situations they're currently sitting in maybe feel a bit hopeless, if you spoke about it a little bit earlier, feeling a little bit like there's no opportunities, that kind of stuff. So do you have maybe a one-liner that you can give them? It doesn't need to be a one-liner, you can expand as well, but anything, thoughts from the founder of InsydOUT.
Okay, let's start it from a point of gratitude, right? Let's start it there. It's quite a privilege, really, to be here, to be alive, to be doing this, to be experiencing this moment and stuff. So I think if we wake up with that attitude, for me, I find it very, very, important and stuff. I'm a dreamer, very ambitious. In fact, one of the things which we're currently working on now, we're stretching ourselves, and challenging ourselves to want to expand InsydOUT into about 15 African countries by 2030.
Oh.
So we're already incorporated in Botswana. We're currently busy with the Tanzania market at the moment and stuff. But as far as Ghana and Kenya and Morocco are concerned, we already started building relationships, with key people in there, in those type of markets and stuff. So it was Donald Trump who wrote the book Think Big, Think Bigger, or something like that. And I remember reading that book a couple of years ago and stuff. And I think that's my message, really. If you're asking me what message do I have, for someone watching this right now, for me, it would be that concept of think big. Think big. You don't have to be limited by where you are, what you are today. The situation you find yourself at this moment and stuff. Yeah. There's more. But you just have to challenge yourself. You just have to be out there, try and meet with people, ask for help. Because sometimes people want to act like they've got everything figured out. The people who really, are building something or are achieving great things in their lives are people who appreciate the fact that, there will always be students. It doesn't matter how much you've achieved. If you're not asking, for new ideas, asking for support, asking for help and stuff, you'd always believe that you are bigger than this world and stuff.
Absolutely. It's so interesting because the first podcast we had with Robin Jacobs, she was the COO at Sanlam. She's on a sabbatical now. But she said something very similar with don't be afraid to ask. That's how she got her first kind of really senior role. Yeah. She just asked the person. So don't be scared to ask for help to get to wherever you want to go. Yeah. Which I think is very interesting. I think and networking was another one that you spoke about.
Networking, yeah.
You have to have a network. If you don't have a network,
it's very important.
Your personal brand, networking, and I think that the third thing you spoke about, asking for help, I think is...
Yeah. I remember when I started this whole entrepreneurship journey and everything, trying to connect with people in corporates and stuff, I used to ask people, hey, can we please have coffee? I'm looking for some guidance. And people were open. Yeah. People were open, but it's also painful in the process, because I remember one day, and I'm not complaining, about this moment, in case the person I'm describing the situation, they realize I'm talking about them and stuff. I'm not complaining. It was good, because it challenged me. So I asked for a lunch, with this executive, and they agreed, and they said, okay, we can meet up at Melrose, right? Sure. When I got there, I was still starting up. Just after I left my job, still starting up, trying to, make ends meet, make money here, make money there and stuff,
Hustling.
When I got there, when I looked into the menu, I saw the prices. I was like, I'm going to end up doing dishes here. I'm going to end up doing dishes tonight. Because this menu here is not really making sure and stuff. But I remember after everything, we coughed out maybe at least $3,000. Sure. But I paid for it. Yeah. And this is money which I had other plans
Yes.
4, I was like, okay, the 1,000 I'm gonna use it for this, the 1,000 I'm gonna use it for that. It's just, so what's important to know is that, and I don't know how to explain it. I don't come from a rich family. I don't come from a poor family at the same time. But my entrepreneurship journey has always been self-funded. I don't come from a family to say, hey, can you lend me 100K? I just want to fix things. It has always been a matter of you make something here, you use it for that. So
Yes.
so to someone, maybe that 3 grand may not sound like a lot of money.
Sounds
but
like a lot of money to me.
to someone who's really hustling and stuff,
Yes.
it is a lot of money.
Yeah.
Just to cough out at a lunch or or whatever.
Yeah.
But that actually challenged me to say I need to work harder because I'm gonna have more of these situations going forward. And you can't be asking a person out. I mean, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with KFC or McDonald's. And whatever. And then you can't be asking people out and you are expecting them to say, let's meet at a McDonald's. Some people will be open to that, which is fine. But there's also people who want to be in a space where they feel comfortable because of their status. And who they are. So they'll go to exclusive places, which tend to be a bit expensive.
Yeah, true. Very
so
true.
if you are really prepared to want to swim with the sharks, you've got to be prepared to be beaten and stuff.
Absolutely.
So you need to understand that there's actually, I'm playing. My girlfriend likes saying this. Says this is the big leagues.
Yes.
In
the big leagues.
In the big leagues.
Yeah.
This is the big leagues. You need to understand what it takes to be in the big leagues.
Yes.
You're not just dealing with average people. You're dealing with people who really are always thinking success, thinking business, thinking all this type of things, thinking making a difference in their communities, all this stuff. So that's the big league. You need to be prepared to operate at that level.
Absolutely.
And stuff. Yeah.
I also think that an interesting point that you brought up was it's like asking questions or asking for help. Sometimes you will get no. The answer is no, and that's the worst that can happen. Somebody can just say no.
But do you know how I interpret no? And I've written about this in my sales book.
Yeah.
So the way I interpret no is not, sometimes no is not indefinitely. Sometimes no could easily mean not now.
Yes.
So you need to be open-minded about no, because sometimes people just mean I'm
You
busy now.
Put them on the wrong day as well.
Yes, it's just I'm busy at the moment, but I'm not saying we can't meet in the next 3 months, or we can't look at this in the next 6 months, whatever the case. So don't close. Sometimes as people we become too emotional that if you say no to me, I write you off. He thinks it's better.
But also, sometimes people write the ideas off. They're like, okay,
sometimes
this is not for me.
100%. So I think it's important to be open-minded. To say, okay, they're saying no. There could be different reasons. Maybe their son is sick. Their current focus now is on their baby getting well and stuff, not wanting to have lunch with me. Do you see what I'm saying?
I got you.
So it's a matter of okay. Do you want us maybe to explore this a bit later? And people will be open to that. Yes, that's not a good time right now. Let's connect in a month's time. Let's connect in 3 months, which is fine. Do you see what I'm saying? But I think let allow no to kind of close up
the whole conversation.
That's an
interesting perspective as well. Yeah, true. That's very
Do you
true.
see it?
I mean, we all go through emotions and differences. So I know when I'm feeling really anxious or whatever, I might not respond the best way. I mean, AD will know as well. Sometimes I respond a little bit aggressively to him, and then obviously I have to go and apologize. But then he knows that was just in that moment. Kind of thing. So we human beings. It's one of those things. But Themba, thank you so much for joining me on this podcast, man. Your insights have been invaluable.
Thank you.
It's always really, really nice to have people that have these experiences coming up, in the corporate space or entrepreneurship or whatever. I think the entrepreneurship one is the first time we've had somebody who's kind of, I'm not saying you're coming up. I know that your business is successful, but, kind of almost starting out, even though it's been 8 years. I know that doesn't sound like a startup. But it's really nice to have those insights as well. So thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks so much. Maybe my closing remarks, parting thought, all those type of things is stretch yourself, man. You won't break, eh?
Yeah.
You know, just stretch yourself a bit. You won't break.
Yeah.
I understand this.
That's spoken from a youngster's perspective, though. Let's be honest. But at my age, I feel like I'm joking.
You know, your concept is very interesting because, you know, people who are very old, they say they are young.
Yeah.
So when you say you're old, I know that you are not at that old age where people now, when you say you're old, they get offended. You say, no, I'm 80, I'm still young.
Well, my wife will differ. My wife will definitely tell you something else. She'll tell you I'm old.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much for having me. So look, this whole concept of stretch yourself, you won't break.
Yeah.
What I mean is, you know, challenge yourself.
Yes.
You know, try new things. Break out of your circle. You know, try meeting new people. You know, you don't have to. Me and you will grow up together.
Yeah.
It's okay. You know, you don't have to be with me all the time. Go out into the world.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, and meet other people.
Yeah.
You know, because that's what growth is mainly it's mainly about. All those type of things. So I think that will be my last message to our guests here.
Important last message, guys. Thanks, Themba. And then, guys, also just Robin's podcast is out. It's on my website, thetattedmentor.xyz. We'll put it in the description again. And Themba's will be coming out next week, Friday. Tomorrow's Jody's. And yeah, thanks very much, Themba.
Thanks.
Appreciate you joining me on the podcast.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Cheers.
I'm just thinking what other question I have for you now. Yeah.
You can ask me what my favorite color is.
I'm assuming it's blue.